Gina Gardiner, and thank you very much for joining me on this Facebook Live. This is day 23 of a 30-day challenge, and I'll tell you a bit more about that later. I'm an international best-selling author, I'm an empowerment and relationship coach, and I work strategically with businesses, getting the best out of people so that the businesses are more profitable, but at the same time, people have a better work-life balance. What I want to talk to you today is about friendship. I've just had a lovely day. I've spent the day with 4 great friends, and they used to be my office staff when I was a head teacher or a principal of a large primary school, and I was there for 20 years. And the 4 ladies, the longest serving was with me for 18 years, and the others for almost that time. And we go back a long way, and today we've been reliving things that we enjoyed and the challenges, and we've had a really good laugh, and there's been some sad things because I've caught up with them, and we've heard about some people being ill and other people no longer being with us. But actually, what is it that makes friendship so special? And as I went through today, and we were sitting having lunch and chatting away and then having afternoon tea, one of the things that struck me is, what is the glue that bonds friends together? And of course, friends, you can be friends with people for a short time. You can be friends with people for life. And what is it that makes friendship so special? And for me, I think there's a number of things. And the first is, I think that they share your values. That although you can disagree about a whole range of things, at the very core, they actually share the things that you think are important. Things like integrity, trust, the way in which you behave in the world, the what you think is acceptable, that you don't. And the longer you know friends, and the more you've actually shared, and that, when you know that you can rely on people in times of difficulty, and that your friend's going to laugh with you, but also be ready to cry, or to hold the space for you when you're feeling frustrated or angry, but that it's really a two-way process, that both parties are going to come to the table, and because they care and because they want to. And just how precious that is in today's busy world, when it's so easy to feel under enormous pressure to be a particular way, or to pretend that things are okay. And what struck me as we sat and we were talking is that being a great friend works, I think, in 2 ways. Not only have you got to be a good friend and actively do things to help them, to support them, to enjoy the time with them, but you also need to be prepared to receive. There needs to be that sense that this is a 2-way process, and that the friendship is built on experience, shared opportunities, shared experiences, and that friendship has a real sense of belonging, being part of a partnership. Now, for many people that I meet, having good friends is actually as, if not more important than the time they spend with family. I was running a group coaching within the Thriving Together tribe earlier this week, one of the 2 monthly coaching sessions. And the theme of that was, how do you thrive rather than survive within the family? And how often family members can be judgmental. Family members have often a lot of baggage around the way in which things were done when they were brought up. And I would say to you that if you're still friends with somebody, the likelihood is that baggage is going to be different and very often less complicated. Because if you had a difficulty with them, if they were judgmental and critical in the same way that some family members might be, you simply just wouldn't stay friends with them. But of course, your family is your family for life. No matter what happens, they're still your mum and dad or your siblings. And there's not a lot you can do about that. You can choose to withdraw, or you can choose to treat them differently. But ultimately, they're still your family. Whereas I think with friendship, you have an absolute choice. Do you want to stay friends with that person or not? Does it actually suits the both of you or not. And so I want to dedicate this Facebook Live to all my friends, the people who have supported me, the people that I can talk to and feel safe to be vulnerable with. And there have been times that have been very, very challenging. And to know that somebody's going to pick up the phone and say, how are you? And really want to know how you are, rather than just to hear, okay. Somebody who will, make you laugh when things are difficult, or give you a kick up the bottom if they think that you're not actually pulling your weight, or that you are making too much of a meal of it. And one of the things that I'm always struck by is how many of the people that I work with or I know who are brilliant friends to other people, absolutely great friends to other people, but they don't treat themselves in the same way. They've got a completely different set of criteria. They wouldn't dream of giving their friends the hard time that they give themselves. They wouldn't dream of not only criticising, but keeping the criticism going day after day, week after week. With your friends, you say what needs to be said, and then you forgive them. And ultimately, then you carry on, or you choose not to be friends. Well, of course, you can't choose not to be friends with yourself, but it is really important, I think, that you treat yourself no better, but no worse. So one of the things that I think is worth looking at is look at the friends that you have and make the distinction between people who are true friends and fair weather friends. And there are inevitably people who are fair weather friends who want the good times but don't want to support you when things are going awry, or just simply want to be friends on your terms, that you're the one that's doing all the running about, that they never phone you, you always phone them. And so have a look at the friendship groups that you've got and see what it is that makes that relationship with each of those friends special. One of the exercises that I often ask clients to do, particularly if they have a poor sense of self-worth, is to ask them to go and ask 5 of their friends to write down what it is that they think about when they consider the person, the client. What I find really fascinating is, without exception, and I've used this hundreds of times, without exception, the friends see greater capacity, greater number of attributes, recognize the skills, recognize what an incredible person they are in a way that they can never do for themselves. And I think that for all of us, that, if we could see ourselves as others see us, many of us would have a very different impression. I'm thinking, about at the end of life, when we go to a funeral and people are reading the eulogy. And I think so often it feels like it's a bit of a waste, because if only they could hear that in their lifetime, how other people valued them and viewed them, because we so often don't say. And one of the challenges I'm going to leave you with today is, when's the last time that you spoke to your friends? And how often do you tell them how much you value the friendship and you value them? And to say thank you for being my friend, because it makes a huge difference. Now, I'm not suggesting for a moment that you go into a eulogy, but just to recognize just how precious they are to you, and to let them know that they have a really precious place in your heart. And then in terms of being friends with yourself, think about how you treat other people. Have you got the same criteria for yourself as you have for others? And if you're harder on yourself, if that voice in your head is critical and you're judgmental of yourself, then it's time to start treating yourself as a best friend. Now, let me tell you a little bit about my mission. I believe that there is so much unhappiness, fear, difficulty in the world. You only got to listen to the news or go onto YouTube to read a newspaper, and you will find that the world is full of strife and difficulty. What we don't hear are all the good things that happen, all the neighbourly, friendly, kind things that people do, the way they put themselves out. And I'm very aware of how many people feel isolated and feel that they are not seen or heard. They may be very successful, particularly if they're successful professionally, but personally not feel that that's the case. And my role, I believe, is to act as a facilitator for the spiritual matriarchs and patriarchs to help people feel empowered and ready to undertake a role where they can take the lead within their family, within their small community, within their organisation, and in broader society. We need to do something different, because if you look at what's going on, there is so much hatred and strife and difficulty. It's time, I think, that those people who believe that compassion and care is more important and a better way forward come together and learn, firstly, to lead themselves, to recognise that they are enough and that they are incredibly powerful beings when they step into their power. And then, having led themselves, that they can actually start to lead other people. And for that reason, I have set up the Thrive Together tribe. And if you're interested, then I'll put the link in the comments. If you would like to look at all of the free resources there are, then please go to the website genuinely-you.com and you'll find all sorts of free resources. Please put a comment in the comment box. Let me know what you think. What does friendship mean to you? And if there are any themes you'd like me to cover in these Facebook Lives, I'd be really grateful to know it. So thanks very much. Take care. Have a great evening or great day, depending on whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching the replay. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye now.